What's up, comic and pop culture fans? This is James with Midhunter Comics, and we're playing a game today of That Grade Isn't That Rare. These are major keys from mostly the 70s, which honestly seems crazy that a 9.8 even exists, and yet actually have many 9.8s out there. I challenged myself to find major 70s and up to 1980 keys in here that have over 100 9.8s on just the CGC Census. This doesn't include EGS, CBCS, or any other grading companies, which means there's probably even more. If you guys want, I could do a part 2 of this in which we talk about books that have shockingly few 9.8s. Don't forget about that 40,000 subscriber giveaway. First Miles, Laura Kinney, or Spider-Gwen. The choice will be yours to one of you lucky viewers. Just make sure you're subscribed, like each video, and make sure you drop comments in each one. First up is going to be Savage She-Hulk. It's a 1979 or 80 key. If you look at it, yeah, I've actually had my fair share of 9.8s cross my own hands, so I kind of knew this number would be decent. Guys, there's almost 3,000 of these things. Easily the highest number on this list. 9.8 of this book is not even close to what I would consider rare. Avengers Annual number 10, first appearance of Rogue, is our second place. Just over 1,000 9.8s out there. 1,085 copies to be exact. First Rogue, ain't that rare. In fact, I've gotten, I think, 3 9.8s myself. New Teen Titans number 2. I was surprised that this was third place. First, Deathstroke. This is a funny book too because I often feel like nobody wants to sell this. I never get this book in. Usually when I do, they always are in like fine condition. Well, I guess that's because all the near minties were sent in. Star Wars number 1. First Star Wars comic book. You will be shocked to hear that this 70s key has over 1,000 copies in the perfect 9.8. That actually was a lot higher than I thought. Back to DC with DC Comics Presents 26, bringing it back to Teen Titans again. We have the first appearance of the Teen Titans, Cyborg, Starfire, Raven, and there are 706 copies of that. That's a surprise as well. Eternals number 1. I honestly was surprised because I didn't know this many people wanted to even submit this book. There are 674 9.8s out there. Wow. Nova number 1. 636 copies existing in the perfect 9.8. I've had several myself. ASM 194, first Black Cat. You'll be surprised to hear that there were 614 graded copies. First appearance of Emma Frost and Kitty Pryde has just under 500 copies on the census. These are all books that I was surprised that they were over 50, much less close to 500. Ms. Marvel, number 1. Another Bronze Age classic, 374 as of today's date. Daredevil 168, I think this is the most recent entry I'm choosing. I kind of cut the list off after 1981, but first Elektra has 335 copies. Wow. This one was a surprise. Shazam number 1, a mid-70s key at 310 copies, all got it the 9.8. Maybe a vendor just kept a box for all these years and then graded that? Who knows? That seems really high. Marvel Premiere 47, first Scott Lang Ant-Man, 271 9.8s in existence. Iron Fist 14, first Sabretooth, a really expensive one here. There are 260 9.8s out there. My God. Marvel Spotlight 32, first appearance of Spider-Woman, almost the same, just about 260 copies existing. Giant Size X-Men 1, the first appearance of the new X-Men, Nightcrawler, Colossus, Storm, 258 copies. I'm sorry, that is not rare at that point. Wow. ASM 210, first Madam Web, we have 252 copies. Avengers 181, first actual Scott Lang before he was Ant-Man, 250 perfect 9.8s. And those of you who have graded before, you know how hard it is to get 9.8s. This is pretty crazy. Captain Britain, number 1, 240 9.8s, and that's a magazine format. What? X-Men 101, First Phoenix, even though I have no luck getting it close to the 9.8, apparently there's 227 out there. Iron Man 128, classic Bob Larkin alcoholism cover, 225 of those suckers. No wonder it's now below $1,000. What If number 10, First Jane as Thor, 204 copies. I have gotten one myself. ASM 129, First Punisher, 201 copies. Before you clicked on this video, did you think there was going to be 201 9.8s of the First Punisher? Pretty shocking, man. The data here is crazy. Ms. Marvel 18, First Full Mystique, 197. Hulk 181, the first full appearance of Wolverine, 159 9.8s. I remember when there were less than 100, so people keep submitting that book in, and some people keep getting lucky. Joker number 1, 70s First Joker series, also 159 copies. First Shang-Chi. This one's crazy to me because of that all-black spine, but sure enough, there's 146 of those out there. Daredevil 131. There are 133 perfect, graded, flawless copies out there. Marvel Spotlight 28, First Moon Knight solo series, 129 9.8s. X-Men 120, our first Alpha Flight right there, 129 copies. This one's crazy. Astonishing Tales 25, from a title that was considerably less picked up back in the day. First appearance of Deathlock. There are 120 perfect 9.8s out there. I would love one of those. Good God. All-Star Comics 58, First Power Girl. There's over 100 of these, believe it or not. Crazy. Marvel Premiere 15, First Iron Fist. 107 existing 9.8 copies of this thing. I have one at the antique shop. Conan the Barbarian. Might be the most surprising one on this list. First appearance of Conan. For a first character appearance that isn't like a major superhero, I was shocked to see that through the ages, we had just over 100 perfect copies survive. Crazy. Marvel Preview 4, First Star-Lord, another magazine format, and we're breaking our 100 rule. There's 97 here, but that's pretty crazy. ASM 121, Death of Gwen, 94 perfect 9.8s. Tomb of Dracula number 1, a book that I was surprised that there were even a couple 9.8s, has 92 perfect 9.8 copies. That's insane. Amazing Spider-Man 191 perfect copies. Ridiculous, man. Again, those of you who have done submitting before, it's hard as hell to get 9.8, so this is crazy. Firestorm number 1, First Firestorm, also 91 perfect 9.8s. Iron Man 55, First appearance of Thanos and Drax, has 89 perfect 9.8s that exist with just CGC. Forever People number 1, the first full appearance of Darkseid, 80 copies. Granted, this has a light spine, but still 80 perfect 9.8s? Crazy. New Gods number 1, First Orion, several other characters. Just like Forever People number 1, there's 80 copies of that. Batman 232, First Ra's al Ghul, 74 perfect 9.8s. And I'll pause to describe a quick story. I had a shot at buying a 9.8 with white pages in like 2015. It was on eBay for like $4,000. I'm pretty sure that book is like way over 10,000 now, so I should have jumped on it, but then again, I was making like 400 weekly at that point, so that was just not a possibility, but you snooze, you lose. Hulk 180, the first cameo of Wolverine, has 73 9.8s. Captain Britain number 8, First Psylocke, or Betsy Braddock, I guess we should say, another magazine format, has 70 perfect copies. That's a UK magazine, had 70 perfect copies. Strange Tales, this is our second to last. First Gamora has 66 perfect 9.8s. That's another book because of a Strange Tales title. That was a lesser picked up thing. I would have thought that had like, God, I don't know, one 9.8 that exists. 66. And our final one, and my grail, this in this grade too, is something I've been hunting for years. I almost had a shot at one. Tomb of Dracula 10. First Blade is going to be our last book that would shock you, the amount that it has. It has 61 perfect 9.8s. And that was an extremely lower picked up run than the rest of the titles on this list. And even still, there's 61 copies here. Pretty crazy. Guys, some of your grails in their perfect grade may not be as rare as you think. If you like this video, make sure you show it by throwing a like, comment down below. Maybe I'll do another video about grails that don't have that many 9.8s. I'll see you at the next video and keep on hunting. Make sure to come on down to Sentiment Depot's Antiques and Collectibles, located at 238 West Delaware Ave in Pennington, New Jersey. Find so many great books for just $1 and the lowest prices on key comics around. Enjoy a huge selection of graded comics priced up to 20% lower than current fair market value. We are open from Wednesday to Sunday, closed Monday, Tuesday. You got a collection you want to sell? Bring that too. Can't wait to see you there.